Hey guys, welcome to Commander Lounge. Today I have a Legacy deck tech for you, and this is Oops All Spells. Yeah, I completely just stopped caring about my Legacy Affinity deck once I found out about this deck. I found out this deck through the channel, the Mana Source, so thanks. As soon as I saw it, I was like, all right, this is pretty much just an upgraded version of the Pauper deck, One Land Spy. If you guys already saw that, but yeah, I was just as soon as I saw it, I was so excited to build this deck because I really like, especially in Legacy, I just want to do the most broken thing, and winning on turn one is the most broken thing, and the way you win is hilarious too. So basically, the way you win in this deck is that you need 4 mana, and you need I think, yeah, you just need one of it to be black mana, and the rest, colorless, doesn't matter. So yeah, let's I'll show you, I'll get into it further as we go through this. So yeah, let's get into the ways of getting mana. First we have Chrome Mox, 0 mana, and it imprints you imprint a non-artifact, non-land card from your hand, and you can tap for that mana. So yeah, the best thing to target with this is Street Wraith. Street Wraith is really good for this because you want black mana for your rituals. So I run a playset of Chrome Moxes, and then we have Lotus Petals, are just nice because you can sack for any. Need the full playset, of course. We got Simian Spirit Guides. I love the Spirit Guides. There's, this is another reason why I like the One Land Spy. I really love the Spirit Guides, especially with how they used it to win in One Land Spy. Now, Pauper One Land Spy is like almost the same thing as Oops All Spells. Like, you still use Bullistrad Spy. You get the upgrade of Undercity Informer, which is amazing. But yeah, Simian Spirit Guide is another way of getting the mana you'll need. Then we have Elvish Spirit Guide, which is awesome. It's really good also because you run a full playset of Summoners packs in here, so you can tutor these up. Speaking of the devil, Summoners Pact is the last one, and Summoners Pact's really good. You should definitely have a playset. I've seen people run 3 or 2 of them. I was gonna try to run 2 of them, but then I faced the facts that I need all 4 because not only does it just get your mana that you need, it almost acts like its own, like Elvish Spirit Guide, but it can also go get you, like I run one of Wild Cantor, which you'll see in a second, but it can get that, so it can, splash, or no, not splash, so it can color fix, so you can make sure you hit black on your turn. And it can also get, if you have like a Chrome Mox out and you won't win that turn, you can get a Tinder Wall, I think it's called, and that will ensure that next turn, you'll at least have a better chance, or maybe you'll definitely get there by then. Like, you'll find out while you're starting to play this. Now, this strategy plays out. It is glass cannon as it can ever be. Like, you cannot be scared. You just need to keep, don't be scared to mulligan, and don't be scared to just, take a chance and try to go for the win, which I'll show you in a second how you do that. So yeah, you can get a playset of Summoner's Pact. And this is the one of them. Talk about Tinder Walls, real good if you have Chrome Mox, or you have, if you have tapping mana to get it out. If you know you're not gonna win, it's pretty good. And then we have Wild Cantor, one of also, just to make sure you fix. And then these are our cantrips, which Gitaxian Probe is absolutely vital in this deck, because not only does it cantrip and let you dig for your combo, but it also lets you look at the other person's hand, because that can be a huge help, because we run Cabal therapies in here, which is very important to kind of course, get out the Force of Wills and the Dazes. So yeah, you can get out other stuff like the, I forgot what is it called? Fire or something? I don't know. But anyways, it's good at just getting out hate. Well, this doesn't get out hate, but this is good to find it and then find out what you need to get out of there. Street Wraith, once again, it's a good Chrome Mox target, but it's a cycler. I saw on the Mana Source they showed a more controlling version of it, which they run a full playset of Chancellors, and I think they run 3 to a playset of Pact of Negations, and they showed that they took out Street Wraith and Gitaxian Probes, and I was like, that's the fun part of the deck, is the digging part. So you know, I automatically, this was my start, was putting 4 of Gitaxian Probe, 4 Street Wraith, and I was just like, it's another reason why I absolutely loved One Land Spy, was using these cards. So Street Wraith is in here, good Chromox, good Cycler. So yeah, life doesn't matter with this deck. And we have Manamorphose, which is probably my favorite card in this deck. Not only does it fix you up for the ritual, but it also cantrips. It does exactly what you need. Having, you know, multiple of these can be good. You know, sometimes it's not fun just seeing the win right away in your hand, which is easy to do in this deck. Like, supposedly this deck has a really good turn 1 win percentage, which is awesome. But this card, it just makes it more fun to dig for the win, I think. But yeah, it's a great card, because it's you know, it's not fun just starting out and be like, okay, I'm gonna win right away. Sometimes you get like 2 of these and you'll have a great setup where you're just like, oh dude, I could get lucky, you know, I'll cantrip twice and maybe I'll draw another, you know, Gitaxian or Street Wraith and try to get there. I think it's more fun when it's like when you feel like you're gambling for the win, which this deck you'll definitely be doing a lot of. Then we get to our main ways of setting up our win. Dark Rituals, gotta have it. Playset. And we got Cabal Ritual. This Cabal Ritual, it's not as good as it is in the Pauper One Land Spy deck, because Threshold is a lot tougher to get. Like I've been like playtesting this out a little bit, and I don't think I've once thresholded it, but I mean it's still very important, you know, to get up to your 4 mana that you need, and that's not that tough to do. So yeah, full playset. And then we have our ways of flipping our deck over. No, we do not have 1 land, so we are flipping our deck over. And how are we doing this? With a playset, with either a playset of Bullistered Spy, or with the playset of Undercity Informer. Yes, you'll be sacrificing this creature. You'll be targeting him to sacrifice himself to deck yourself. So yeah, playset of him too. And then what happens when you deck yourself? Well, you flip your deck over, and Narcomoeba triggers. So that's 2 for 1/1 flying. When Narcomoeba is put into your graveyard from your library, you may put it onto the battlefield. So you'll have a full playset of them. So as long as none of them are in your hand, they will all come straight out to the battlefield. And then what do you do after that? Well, if you know somebody has some hate in their hand, like if somebody's getting ready to daze you or you know, force a will you, Cabal Therapy, you can sacrifice the 1 Narcomoeba to Cabal Therapy them for, you know, most of the time you're going to be naming Force a Will. Every once in a while days, I guess. Especially Gitaxian Probe, you'll be, you know, if you Gitaxian Probe that first round, you'll find out what you need to do. This is also really good for your naming a card in your hand too. Like if you have one of your key pieces that I'm about to show you in your hand, that's not good. You never start these cards after Cabal Therapy that I'm showing you. If you start with 2 of them, you definitely mulligan. You don't start out with any of these 2 cards I'm showing you after Cabal Therapy. So if you have one of them in your hand, that's fine. And the same thing with Narcomoeba. Usually you could you can Cabal Therapy Narcomoeba. Like you could try to get more mana before you even flip it. Well, I mean, actually, no, never mind. That won't work with Narcomoeba. I'm being dumb. Because it has to be from the library. You have to discard Narcomoeba for it to go into the battlefield. But yeah, these next cards I show you, if you have one of them in your hand, that's fine. And then, you know, with one of your Narcomoebas before you Dread Return, like I'm going to show you, you name, you know, like let's just say you have a zombie in your hand. You know, you kill one of your Narcomoebas, and then you name a zombie, and then you discard your zombie until the graveyard, so you can reanimate them. And I'll show you in a second. It sounds confusing right now if you don't know, but I'll get right into it. Okay, now, what are we going to be doing mainly with the Narcomoebas? We have 4 of them. Well, because Dread Return is going to be in your graveyard, you can sacrifice 3 of them to return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. What creature do you want to return? You want to return Angels of Glory's Rise. Why do you want to do that? Because, well, not only does it exile all zombies, which I don't, you know, maybe there'll one day be a zombie, really competitive zombies legacy deck, but until then, you get to return all human creatures cards from your graveyard to your battlefield. Now, before I get into the key humans that come onto the battlefield, just letting you guys know, the playset of Undercity Informers, they are humans, so they're going to be coming in too. So just in case if somebody turns off your combo, you still have damage to do the next round. So yeah, what do we get? What do we get back with Angels? That's the most important. That is Azami, Lady of the Scrolls, and Laboratory Maniac. Now, if you guys don't know what Laboratory Maniac is, that's 3 mana. If it 2/2, who cares? If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. Now, when Azami comes in, she says, tap and untap wizard you control, draw a card. So, when those two come out, you can tap either one of them to draw a card. Like, if they somehow have a way to, like, I guess, like, I think it's called Sudden Shock or something, do, like, a split second and kill one of them, it doesn't matter, because you'll tap the other one and do it. So, yeah, it's really fun, really explosive, and it's hilarious that you win with Laboratory Maniac. Like, that's crazy. You know, it's a very fragile combo, but it is amazing. But yeah, once again, if you're starting with any of these in your hand, one of them's usually fine, like especially even Dread Return. But just remember with you definitely want only one, because you want to name, you know, with Cabal Therapy, with that one Narcomoeba that you can use to do whatever, you name, you know, whichever one's in your hand, and then you dump it out before you you do your Dread Return thing with the other 3 Narcomoebas. So yeah, turn 1 wins are very easy in this deck as long as it's, you know, not countered. But this deck is really bad against any decks running Force of Will and Daze, which is a lot of the field. But that's why we have a sideboard. And the first thing is, I am using Chancellor the Annex, but it only makes sense to put in the sideboard for me, because it is I just think it's I just think it's not useful. Like, if you play a full playset against goblins, it's like, okay, that doesn't matter. You know, against hate bears, it's like, you know, I don't care. You know, against all those decks, it's just like, any deck not running Force of Will, you just be like, wah, 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 having Chancellor. So, you only put this in your deck turn 1 against those decks with Force of Will, though. Because turn 2, it may not matter, because they may play land go, and then they'll be able to pay their 1 anyways. So, only when you go first, this gets sided in. So you run a full playset of those just to make sure you get one on your first go. If you're not going first, use Pact of Negation. I think I even throw 2 of them in with Chancellor just to make sure I combo off good. But on turn, if I'm going second, I'll run all 3 of them in. So I need to get those proxies, whatever. And then we have a bridge for below, just in case they can, you know, the Narcomoeba triggers come in and then they can answer it and destroy some of them. It makes sure I have creatures for Dread Return, because people, in response to like the last Narcomoeba coming in, they can play that. What I was trying to think of, that red spell that deals 4 damage spread apart to, like, you know, to as many creatures as you want, 1 damage. So yeah, we don't want that. We want to be able to replace them with creatures just in case, and Bridge from Below does that. Yes, the usual sideboard. Just getting off track for a second. Usual sideboard in Oops All Spells, it goes to a Charbelcher build, Goblin Charbelcher. And the reason why I'm not running that is because, you know, I don't want to try to get Lion's Eye Diamond first off, because that's hella expensive. And also, you know, I think I don't want to slow down the strategy, even though some of these cards will slow it down on their own. But I really was thinking of a sideboard that would protect my combo more. Like, that's what I was thinking of. And Tormod's Crypt is one against, you know, the Mirror Match, and it's also against Reanimator, so I put it in here. I kind of need it, you know. I felt like there was a lot of space in this sideboard. I was like, well, what am I going to do now? So I guess I was just like, I guess Reanimator hate. And this one is actually one that might surprise some of you. When people have Pithing Needle or Phyrexian Revoker, they can name a zombie and turn her off and keep you from drawing a card, and make you want to go the battle route. You know, if they don't know this is in your sideboard, and they run Pithing Needle or Phyrexian Revoker, because that's all they got to do is name, you know, a zombie, then you can't activate draw a card to win at the end, and you have to try to win through damage. So Alchemist's Apprentice is something that they will not see coming at first. I don't know if in the future this is going to be a thing where you have to play mind games with the other person, act like you're putting it in, and put something else in. But I think it's a real good replacement against, what do you know, Pithing Needle. Yeah, this is the last one I got. Pithing Needle is the one I'm really unsure of having in here, because once again, it costs 1 mana. You don't want to be spending mana in this deck unless it's to combo off. But I think it's very important to turn off cards like Relic of Progenitus and Tormod's Crypt, so it's in here. It's against the hate that's coming at you. So, yeah. So yeah, that's my 1 land spy deck. I don't know if I went over it crazy good. But yeah, once again, 4 mana, play Bullish Spire, Undercity Informer, deck yourself, Narcomoeba's Trigger, come into the battlefield, Dread Return, get back Angels of Glory's Rise, I think it's called, and then you get back all your humans plus a zombie and Laboratory Maniac, tap a zombie, you win. It can happen a lot turn 1. Be careful of Force Wills and Daze. Let me know what you guys think of this deck, how crazy explosive it could be. Yeah, like, favorite, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think, and take it easy, guys. Bye.